Hi Bonnie, this is your second installment for RC helicopter flying. The first one having been that Air Hogs helicopter. This one is a more real type helicopter. It's got a full 4-channel control. It's the Blade MCX2. It's a coaxial rotor helicopter. The one rotor blade turns counterclockwise while the other turns clockwise so that they can cancel out each other's torque. And that negates the need for a tail rotor. If you notice, there's no tail rotor spinning on here. This flies just like a real helicopter in that you can do forward and backwards flight, left and right, and you can also pivot it on the yaw axis just as if it had a real tail rotor. What you do is I've got two batteries. I've got this 150 milliamp hour one that I bought extra. This is 130 milliamp hour. You get about 5 minutes of flight with this one, about 7 with this one, so I'll put this one in for now. You just push it in this little rack down here until it grounds out against one of these fuselage parts, and you've got to make sure that it's not hitting a little white gear in there, one of the little servo gears. Okay, so you turn the transmitter on first, wait for it to beep, that'll tell you that it's ready, and then you plug in this. I put it in, see the red dot on the battery, the red dot on the connector, plug it in. You got a couple seconds, you got to set it down so that the gyro can stabilize. Once it has, the lights will start flashing, you're ready to go. The controls on it are, you've got the throttle, which is up and down on the left stick. You've got what would be the tail rotor or yaw control, left and right. You got left and right cyclic on the right stick, which makes it fly left and right sideways. And then you've got forward, which is up on the stick, and backwards, which is down on the stick. This is so stable that it'll fly hands off on here. You just start it up, you can lift up, and it'll just fly. All I've done so far is hit the throttle control. And I've got it trimmed out so it'll hover pretty well. And then you can just start out just giving it minor controls. There's backwards, there's forward, and then you can fly to the right, to the left. And then you can also, of course, use the typical type of coordinated left and right controls so you get a nice round type of circle when you fly on here. Just to give you a demonstration of how stable the gyro is on this to keep the nose pointed straight, is I can put it in what's called a pirouette, where it's just spinning really fast like that. And if I just let go of the stick, look how that instantly stops. And it'll do that in either direction. And the thing just instantly stops and holds whatever heading it had when you let the stick go. Again, like I said, you can do standard, you can fly left, you can fly right, you can fly forward, you can fly backwards. And notice that it keeps the nose nice and steady on there, which is what you have to do. There's some instruction in the book on how to do a little bit of practice flying. It doesn't take a lot of control movement. The nice thing with this helicopter is that if you get into trouble, the best thing to do is chop the throttle. It won't always land on its feet like that, but I've been flying this thing for a month and a half now, and there's been a lot of times where it got out of control, and I just chop the throttle even from 5 or 6 feet. It falls to the ground and it's just fine. The important thing to remember though is to immediately pull the throttle all the way back, because if there's any current going to the motor when it's laying on its side like this so that the rotors can't turn, it'll burn out the control on it. Okay, for battery charging, I've got this charger. It comes with a place for batteries, but they wear out after about 15 or 20 charges, so I hooked up a little DC plug-in unit for you. You just take the battery, put the connector side down, it'll only go in one way, push it in there, the light will turn on. When the light goes out, it's fully charged and you're ready to go. I've got this extra little tail rotor that you can replace this back part of the shell with if you want to. That's how I've been flying it. I put the shell back on for you. It makes it a little more responsive, but with this helicopter it's not like you're going to be doing loops and rolls and things with it. So that's all. When you're finished, it'll lose power kind of suddenly once the battery is run out, so you got to get used to how long it's going to be flying and then land before it runs out. And then so just hold on to the battery, pull that connector out, turn the transmitter off, and you're ready for your next flight once the battery's charged. Okay, have fun.